Hello my friends and welcome. We have some fantastic news that are coming from the Bakhmut area. Our guys, Ukrainian armed forces, are going forward day by day, hour by hour, and they're very close to Klishivka. From what I can see on this military map, our guys took one of the hills at least near to Klishivka. Or it's better to say Klishivka because there's double I. And this hill is taken already by the forces. Here you can see the valley, and we can use this valley to go downstairs to this village. This village is quite long in this area. It has several of the buildings, plus the river, and what is most important, the road that leads to the Bakhmut city. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the direct road to Opetne, so if you want to go further to Opetne, you need to cross this river as well. So this is some sort of the natural trench down there, which Russia also may use as their defense line. But from Klishivka, there is also the possibility to bypass this part from Andriivka. Taking Andriivka village is also quite important if we want to proceed northbound, because leaving the enemy positions behind is not a great idea. But anyways, I think that we're gonna move to Opetne and maybe simultaneously to Andriivka. But it is the future scenario. For now, we have the achievement of Ukrainian army. Let's go to the timeline to see how the situation developed throughout 2 days. So it was 2 days ago, then 1 day ago, and today. As you can see, the pace is quite nice. There is 5th and 3rd assault brigades that are now performing their best job over here. Still, Ukraine keeps its main resource somewhere close to the Bakhmut area, near to the Chasiv Yar over here, and they're not conducting the assault operations. It's the backup force. I guess that this major force will be used in the nearby future, then our guys will break through the flanks completely. There is the long elevation over here that leads to the Bakhmut city, so taking this elevation near to Klishivka will give Ukraine the opportunity to target the Russian positions in Bakhmut city itself. So I would say that the hills are much more important compared to Klishivka village itself, but it's just a matter of time that we'll have the control over this village together with Andriivka, and then we're gonna proceed to Opetne. It should be like that. The awesome news continue. Our guys are pushing near to Berhivka. Let's go to the timeline to see how they did it. So it was yesterday and it is today. As you can see, we took this part of the railroad and actually are very close to Berhivka. In this area, there is the crucial height over here, this hill. We should take control over it to proceed to Yahidne and to Krasna Hora. The Bakhmut city on the north is much closer to Yahidne and to the battle positions of Ukrainian army. I might say that we are almost fighting in the Bakhmut city. Here, the Ukrainian army will move to Berhivka, taking this village and also the elevation itself, the hill, then Yahidne. After it, we may proceed from the north to the Bakhmut city itself, and doing so, we may encircle the Bakhmut city from both of the directions, from north and from the south. I guess it's the main plan of Ukrainian army to perform this some sort of the maneuver, and Russians would be forced to leave the Bakhmut city after all, because they would be under the constant fire of Ukrainian armed forces. They would be unable to secure their positions, so they have to perform their very popular goodwill gesture. Yes, this operation is slower than expected, but we need to secure the lives of our soldiers, and the result will be the same. Russians would have to move from the Bakhmut city. I'm sure about it. Let's check out the general picture, the timeline for 2 consecutive days. So it was 2 days ago, and here, as you can see, Ukrainian army moves quite a lot near to Yahidne especially, and Russia now isn't desperate over there, but also on the south there is the huge movement, and it's great. This morning there was the information from some of the Russian military bloggers that Russian forces had left Klishivka village, but actually it's not true. They still control that village, but I would say not for a long time. My friends, before we continue with other news, let me tell you about the partner and the sponsor of my channel. It is, as you know, the Atlas VPN. They extended the special offer for my followers, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month plus 6 months for free. It is the best offer for the premium VPNs out there. Also, Atlas VPN grants me the full access to any kind of series on the Netflix streaming platform. So I don't care about the government restrictions any longer. And sometimes I check the enemy site, social media, and for that I also use the Atlas VPN. You can basically change your virtual location to any point in the world. And Atlas VPN is so fast that you'll never feel the difference whether it's on or off. But I do recommend it to keep it on all the time. And now, my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount, so you'll get it for just $170 per month plus 6 months for free. This deal is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. Alright, what helps Ukraine to conduct the operation in Bakhmut successfully? Basically, we start to cut the supply lines for the Russian army. We did it before, but now intensified the actions. Here we are speaking about the Russian ammunition hubs in Makivka, also Horlivka, in Luhansk and Alchevsk. The last week, lots of the Russian supplies were targeted by Ukrainian long-range weaponry as HIMARS and Storm Shadow cruise missiles. Probably I should have chosen the red color for the Russian-controlled areas, but anyways, today we have also awesome news coming from Makivka. The big oil depot was also targeted by some sort of the flying object. Or maybe someone just smoked at the wrong place as usual. About the south part, everything is unusually stable. Ukraine took some of the ground during the recent months, but now we see the pause in further advancement of the Ukrainian army. I expect that this silence is before the major strike of Ukrainian army, because our officials said that Ukraine found the weak spot in Russian defense. Where did we find it? I'm out of clue. I guess it's the secret information. Also, the Kherson region. There is no updates from Oleshki. For now, we know that Ukraine controls the part of the land across the Dnieper River. If you follow me on the Telegram, by the way, the link is in the video description below, you may already know that Russia tries to conduct lots of the attacks using the aviation bombs together with their huge ballistic missiles, Iskanders, but they miss all the time, and Ukraine hadn't losses because of those attacks, and we still keep the ground. Some commenters say that, Dennis, why do you say we, because you are not over there? Well, I associate myself with Ukrainians because, well, I am. And if we do something, we do everything all together. The guys are fighting on the front lines and we do everything to help them. So it's the common job. There are lots of the volunteers, charity funds, and basically Ukrainian people who pay taxes. From those taxes, our army continued to live and fight. So altogether, it's our country, Ukraine, and that is why I continue to say we. We advanced, we attacked, we did something. And hopefully soon we're gonna get rid of the occupiers that tried to take our country. Okay, the situation around the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant or power station, everything is more or less calm about it. I searched through the origin of the yesterday's panic, and it actually came from Russia. The head of the Rosatom published the information that Ukraine plans the attack on Zaporizhia power plant. But Ukrainian resources say that, okay, if Russia says so, probably they'll conduct the attack on the power plant. It was promised the last night, but as you can see, everything is stable. However, it doesn't mean that it is over. The International Atomic Agency at first said that there were no mines, but before they say that there were, and after they say that they have the old information, and they asked Russians to go and check the roofs of those buildings with reactors. For now, Russia forbids anyone to enter the nuclear power plant, including the inspectors from the International Atomic Agency. That still worries me. I hope they will grant access for the mission very soon. Russian occupiers tried to perform the meeting today in Volnovakha. You can see they put some of the flags out there. There were representatives from Russia and from LPR and DPR self-proclaimed republics, and you see what happened to that building. It was big kaboom. As it was reported, there were several occupiers who lost their lives because of that, let's say, smoking accident. Well, that may happen if you start the war against the sovereign country. And this is the oil depot I was talking to you about in my Kievka this evening. It means that the part of the Russian tanks will be out of fuel at least for some time. Russia showed the pictures of the residency villa of Prigozhin. Here you can see the huge Hummer and it says in case of important negotiations. So use this one. It's the part of the Prigozhin's humor. His villa or building, how you may call it, is very big but out of the taste. I don't really like the colors. Well, here is more or less okay, but here it's like a big hotel with alligator and here's the piano. Well, this room is more or less okay, and Russian special forces that conducted the search of the facility found some of the ammunition, rifles and lots of the money, around 10 billion rubles. That's more than $100 million or something like that, and that money were confiscated from Prigozhin, but later on were returned to him because he said that it's the salary for his soldiers all in cash. Prigozhin even had his private medical office and praying room. Interesting. Oh, the part of the money were in gold, many in United States dollars and also rubles were found. Many of the boxes, many of the AKs, and this is the ground floor of the building. There are several sofas, a table. This looks like some sort of the cartel leader building villa or stuff like that. The funniest thing as for me are those wigs. As you know, Prigozhin is bald, but he had lots of the wigs in his cupboard. This is just a sauna, training center, pool, so everything is like in a normal house, let's say. There was the picture found that was on the wall with cat human heads. This picture was probably taken by Wagner soldiers in Syria. And would you put it on the wall for your house? So it means that Prigozhin is really sick. Well, not only him, I think, but the majority of the Russian elite. The British intelligence says that there is the big crack between the force organizations in Russia, between the regular army, between FSB and military intelligence. And still we are out of clue where the General Surovikin is. The report says that Surovikin's arrest cannot be confirmed, but where is the guy? Why he is not in the public? Why his family is still in search for him? There is no day without smoke and fire in Russia. This is the St. Petersburg. Some of the storage warehouses caught the fire and it was quite severe. I just like this image, the military ship from the First World War that Russia lost and the smoke behind, saying that it's going to be the same. Financial Times published the article saying that Xi Jinping warned Putin against nuclear attack on Ukraine, probably on other countries as well. From the information that we start to obtain, Putin has the plan of the nuclear attack on Ukraine and not only. The part of the Russian elite is actually lobbying this way out, let's say, for the Russian Federation. They say that it is the only win way for Russia, and United States plus other allies will not reply if Russia bombs, for example, Poland. This is the total madness, but unfortunately, this guy has the plan on the table. Ukrainians couldn't believe that he would dare to attack our country. It was nonsense. And now there is the other, more terrible plan that Putin may conduct. Also, Joe Biden says that the threat, the nuclear threat from the Russian Federation, is real. Also, the ex-Russian president, alcoholic Medvedev, said today that there are two ways to end the war. One is the peace agreement, the other one is the nuclear war. By the way, he is not just the ordinary alcoholic. He is the part of that elite that is lobbying the nuclear strike. He is also the deputy of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. That is also worrying me. The Great Britain will start the training of Ukrainian pilots in August. Unfortunately, it should have happened during the June, but was postponed for 2 months. Our pilots need at least 4 months for the training. It means that they will be ready this winter, plus we need to put the new lines to supply those airplanes. We need maintenance, we need spare parts. Basically, we need to organize all of that stuff together with our allies. Luckily, we still have the awesome military support from our friends. By the way, thank you so much also for supporting Ukraine. So I guess that during the springtime, late spring, we'll start to use the F-16 fighter jets, and maybe not only during this war. Yesterday, Russia posted that Ukraine targeted not the ammunition depot but some sort of the hospital. Well, today we have the drone image showing that it was the ammunition depot. There were several of the rockets, lots of the ammunition just lying in the yard of this building. This building is just in Makiivka, so Russia doesn't care about its civilians nearby. The full firework you may see on my Telegram channel. Russia is desperately searching for some sort of the forces that they may use to compensate the absence of the Wagner PMC near to Bakhmut. They are looking to use the Russian prisoners, as Wagner did, plus Chechens. But the Kadyrov TikTok battalion is not the Wagner army, plus the prisoners, they're just unable to fight as the experienced Wagner soldiers. Yes, Wagners also used the prisoners, but those were just for the mid waves. They just thrown them straight forward and later on attacked from the flanks using the Wagner, let's say, elite forces. I may say that Wagner is no longer in a game, and probably the story with Wagner is over for Ukrainian war. And there is no any way for Russia to find the equal force for this compensation. No, Bakhmut will be liberated by Ukrainian army. It is 100%. Funny photos of Prigozhin were found that he masked himself, that he went somewhere to participate some sort of the meeting with the Wagner group. Here you can see the beard, here is the other beard, one more, this is the wig, as you can see, this is the wig as well. I wonder what uniform he wears here, probably Syrian one. So that is how he went there. He cared about his own life and still cares. That's why he actually stopped before reaching Moscow. Well, okay, Russia continued to send the Jurassic T-54 and T-55 tanks to Ukraine. Very interesting. It means that they're in lack of the tanks. They lost around 2,500 tanks during this war, but they are able to produce 200 more or less modern tanks like T-72B3 and also T-90s. So altogether 200 per year, and they have to compensate with something. And they found out this. There was the video I showed you once how they used this tank as the kamikaze one. They put lots of the mines inside, they jammed the gas pedal and put it forward. In that variant, it may cause lots of the destruction, but we have some tools to stop those vehicles on their way. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Don't forget to press the like to this video, and also please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with astonishing discount, especially valid for my followers. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.